So in this video, we are going to see the 20% of the NumPy that will help you to do 80% of your task in data science. Let's get started. So first of all, to work with NumPy, basically these are the very basic methods that you must know if you are working with data science and machine learning. This particular session, I will try to keep it as simple as possible. So let me close it. And here you don't need to install anything in your system. Everything will be inside this collab.google.research.google.com. So all your Python code, everything will be inside here. You don't need to install Python in your system. Nothing you need to do. You just need to follow this thing. And now we will create a new notebook in Google Drive. It will ask you to log in. Just log in with your Google account and you are good. Yeah. So now it's loaded. Let's rename it. And here, let's start now. So if you're working in Python, so how will you create an array? You will just create an array like this. This is my array, and inside the array, I can put anything. Let's say this is my simple array. But NumPy, it provides you advanced numerical features and methods that you can use to, to speed up your development process in data science and machine learning. You can multiply the matrices very easily without writing the custom logic in Python. So you can do all of those things with the help of NumPy. So now this is the typical Python array, but now we need to create NumPy array out of this. So how do we create the NumPy array? So first of all, we have to import NumPy. Since NumPy is not out of the box with Python, so we need to import it. Import NumPy as NP. And now this is collab. So inside this, every code that you write in these cells will be executed separately. To execute this code, you just need to click on this play icon. Once I click on this play icon, you will see it is started to execute. Yeah, so now this particular code is executed. To show you the result, I will just print the statement array. If I run it again, so if you press command enter or control enter, it will execute this cell. Simple. So now we are printing this array. Now to create the array, you need to use np.array. So only then NumPy array will be created. This array is now Python array. So if you need to work with NumPy, then you need to create array first of all. So how do we create the array? Very simple. Any variable, we are just creating any variable. NumPy array is equal to np.array. So here you will get the suggestions also. And inside this, either we can create the array from scratch or we can convert the existing array. So for that, we will just pass this array as argument inside this, or we can also do this like this. So it will create the array from scratch. So now we have this array, and let me print this, my NumPy array, and here I will write NumPy array. So if I execute this cell, you will see this particular array written in this format. This array is now converted to NumPy. So now let's see the other thing, that is np.zeros. Now np.zeros, it will help you to create the matrix or the array with zeros in that. So let's quickly see the example. Now here we will create one more example, zero array, and here we will create np.zeros like this. So here we can create the array of zeros. Now let's say I want to create an array of zeros with the length of 7 elements inside that. So if I press 7, and now if I try to print this zeros ARR, then you will see there are 7 zeros inside it. So it has created the NumPy array with 0 element. So this is how you can do it. Now let's say you want to create 2-dimensional matrix. So for that, you just need to pass a tuple, and inside the tuple, you first of all you will define the rows. Let's say I want 2 rows and I want 4 columns. So it will create a matrix with 2 rows and 4 columns. Let me try to print it. You can see there are 2 rows and there are 4 columns. 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is how you can create the NumPy arrays with zeros. This will be helpful when you need to create the matrix, the zeros matrix. There will be some confusion matrix that you may need to create. So for that, it will be very helpful in the machine learning. Now similarly, as we have zeros, so similarly we have np.ones. So as the name suggests, you might have guessed it, np.ones will create the matrix or array with ones inside that instead of 0. So we will define that quickly, np.ones, and here I want, let's say, 4 rows and 5 columns. And if I try to print it, then you will see 1, 2, 3, 4 rows are there and 5 columns are there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is how you can create the matrix with 4 rows and 5 columns with one as an element for entire matrix. So this is how you can create the matrix with one as an element inside that. Now let's go to np.I. Now np.I, this particular method is used to create the diagonal element as one in a matrix. Let's implement the I method. So here we will create the I matrix. Here we will write np.I, and here we will pass the dimensions of the array that we want to create. So let's say I want the matrix of 5 by 5, 5 rows, 5 columns. And if I try to print it, I array, so you will see we have 5 columns and 5 rows, but one is there as a diagonal. When you want to create the diagonal elements as one, in that case you can use this particular method. Now let's go to the next one, that is np.full. So let's talk about np.full. Now here we will come here, we will add one more cell. So to add one more cell, you can just click on code or you can click on text to add some text. So basically I will just add one more cell. Here I will add full ARR. So np.full, and here what this method can do, this with the help of this method, you can create the matrix with specified element. So here you are creating the matrix with zeros only. So you can't use another element. Let's say instead of 0 you want 5 for each element. You can't do that with the help of np.zeros. And similarly with np.ones, you can't have another element apart from 1. So now if you want to have, let's say 12 as an element for entire matrix, what do you need to do? You need to create the matrix with np.full, and here you need to pass the rows. Let's say I want 4 rows and 6 columns, and for each element I want 12 as my element for the entire matrix. And if I try to print it full ARR, then you will see 12 is there as my element for entire matrix. If I change it to 0, then it will be 0 for everything. You can say it is just the extension when you want to create the matrix with multiple elements with the customized element. In that case you can use it. So that was it for today's video. See you in the next one.